If you want to be left alone, you could at least drop us off somewhere exciting.
It's beautiful, isn't it? We can be one of many. Traffic, drivers, part of society.
I don't think...
Commuters! Where are we going? Who knows? Who cares? We have the freedom. Freedom. Truly beautiful.
That was a very nice speech. Wonderfully heartfelt. If we hadn't already been sat here for 40 minutes.
Were you just delaying this conversation because you don't have a destination in mind?
Were you just reading my mind already knowing that's true and just wanted to sound like a smug prick about it?
Yes.
Also yes.
And truth be told, a car can only get you so far, really.
Would an auto-gyro be preferable?
Would a terrible segue into the review be preferable?
Yes.
Also yes.
Christ!
Ever since I learned to drive, something quite interesting sprung to mind. I had flashbacks back to childhood gaming. All those hours spent in the back of the car playing on my Game Boy Advance. Yeah, Advance, because I wasn't even conceived when the original Game Boy came out. You're just old. On one such occasion, I recall being in a game shop presented with a choice for the next big car ride. Before me sat Rayman 3 and Banjo-Pilot. Obviously I chose Banjo-Pilot because just saying the words Banjo-Kazooie is enough for me. If you wanted to know about Rayman 3 though, my good buddy Petronius already reviewed it, so yay! However, this is a Banjo game made after Microsoft bought Rare? Was I tricked or was it a hidden gem? I haven't played it since, but I would guess somewhere in the middle.
Why was that in there?
Emergency.
Well, at the very least, you can have the game in there already. Oh, of course.
Any apprehension I may have is immediately extinguished because there is no sweeter way to start a game than with the Banjo-Kazooie theme complete with characters interacting with logos. Albeit Grunty breaks the logo while in front of it. Oops! This is also where we get a glimpse of the graphics, which, for the GBA, isn't that bad. It's not Asterix, but it's consistent with how Grunty's Revenge looked, so I feel like it's a natural fit. Also, the menus are bright and colourful. Just overall, the style is very appealing. I have seen much worse on the GBA. Did you know Elf Bowling was on the GBA?
Yeah. Look, I'm not going to play a racing game alone. You guys have to join me.
I don't have a Game Boy.
I don't have arms.
I don't have a link cable, actually. Download Player was the greatest invention in human history.
Oh, so
my,
helpful.
yes,
definitely.
how I miss PictoChat.
Yeah, anyone else have that issue growing up where multiplayer on the GBA was really impractical? I think Pokemon Ruby was the only game I ever got to play with people, so I can't even comment on Banjo-Pilot's multiplayer. Options! Ah yes, my default name is... Bun? I mean, of all sins I would probably be greed, I'll take it. Right, enough filler, let's start the game properly. So jumping into Grand Prix mode, we start with 4 characters. Banjo, Kazooie, BromoJumbo, and... a Ginger. 2 protagonists, a supporting character, and an item. I'd make some sort of comparison, but Piranha Plant's in Smash Brothers doing his best, so the sky's the limit. I'm so proud of you. And speaking of sky, away I fly! Our first taste of gameplay as we see Banjo-Pilot is set up like any traditional kart racer. Of course, this leads to many questions like, why can't a plane go off-road? Why can't a plane cut across the track?
I think the real question is, why are they in planes at all? Like, nothing's gained from this.
Wait a second, what the hell is that?
Bleh. Oh, that explains everything.
This game is Diddy Kong Racing, like to an uncanny degree. The influence lingers. From the mundane things such as the exact same boosters being used, to gameplay things like being able to loop almost identically to the planes in Diddy Kong Racing. To be fair though, I love Diddy Kong Racing, so this isn't even a bad thing. Maybe that's why I subconsciously picked Banjo, since he makes the exact same sounds he did in Diddy Kong Racing. Oh, that is pure nostalgia. Years after being lost to the sea of Microsoft. The Sea of Thieves, Rare still has it. Circa 2005. Because honestly, the gameplay is actually really fun. It is very rapid fire with its pace. Like you can go from first to last to first again in a matter of seconds. You blink and you're dead. Of course the same can be said for the computer because haha, no friends. The controls are surprisingly good too. Instantly contradicting what I said already, being in the plane means you can control the altitude and, combined with rolling, you can dodge items thrown at you and drift around corners. Only problem is that to record this I had to use an emulator because I'm I'm a thief, you fools. I ain't buying a Game Boy player. Even though I said I'm a thief, I could just steal one. La la, I'm born. The pain and the pleasure all comes together. There's no reason why.
Could you at least turn the radio on or something?
Fine. The things I do.
Why is the radio station playing this?
Well, it wouldn't be a rare game if I didn't bring up the music composed by Robin Beanland, who has brought us the music to the likes of Conker's Bad Fur Day, Sea of Thieves, and the Killer Instinct series, so you know it's in good hands, and for the most part, yeah, it's a solid soundtrack, although there's something familiar about it. Would you be surprised at all that this game was originally meant to be a Donkey Kong game? Specifically, Diddy Kong Pilot. Yup! Now all those Diddy Kong racing isms make perfect sense. All that's missing is the victory theme, and let me just fix that. Okay, even the victory themes has monkeys in it. Your monkey subtleness has no discretion, you charlatans. I'm sorry, that was rude. I'm having fun, I swear. In fact, we haven't even talked about the tracks themselves. They're all based on levels from the Banjo-Kazooie series. The first cup throws us in with Spiral Mountain, Hellfire Peaks, a level based on Jinxie from Gobi's Valley? That's a stretch. And of course,
Easy Pete.
any excuse to use John Lovett. It's a shame then that they couldn't use the exact same music tracks, but the new ones are serviceable. Just a bit sad seeing the iconic snowman without the amazing music. And again, it sounds like something out of Diddy Kong Racing. I really was surprised David Wise didn't work on this one. To be honest though, I really like how the levels look. Fans will recognize the iconic landmarks from each level with ease, and they capture the same atmosphere. For the most part. What adds to the atmosphere is cameos from classic Banjo characters. Tip Top and Gobi are here, and so is...
I'm a shapeshifter.
Who the hell is that?
Chili Billy from Hellfire Peaks?
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
New.
I killed a dragon once.
Are we talking a real dragon like how Chili Billy should look? Or a stupid dumpy thing like this imposter?
You're not gonna let this go, are you?
It looks like Crunch from Diddy Kong Racing fell into a vat of ketchup wearing cardboard.
There was so much blood.
You want something unique from a racing game? Well, at the end of each Grand Prix, you get to face a character in a dogfight high in the clouds. And these are the highlights of the game for me. It makes use of your plane's little pea shooter-like gun you have when no items are picked up.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that.
But it can be surprisingly tense. When it flips perspective and now you're being chased, that's a pretty fun idea. Reminds me of when Mario Kart DS had proper boss fights that really added to it, and then proceeded to get rid of them for later games. Thanks, I hate it. Even if you did add one to that Mario Kart Wii channel thing?
What was that?
However, victory awaits as Banjo shoots his best friend out of the sky to plummet to the ground below. To be fair, now it's even. And around the podium, we're cheered on by all the classic characters from the Banjo-Kazooie series, including that one, him, them, and this person. They even included people from Grunty's Revenge? That's actually really neat they acknowledged that game. Maybe I'll talk about it someday.
Could it be they had the assets on hand and just reused them?
No. Can't be. There's way too much effort put into this. It's a homage.
Is that like when you steal lines from films and television and call it a reference?
Do you want to go in the boot? Because that's how you get into the boot.
Next up is the Jiggy Cup, which I found outrageous since Jiggies are on par with stars. How dare they put them on the second cup? Should be like Egg Cup. That's a good pun, actually. But it's here when I realized the little pea shooter thing does diddly squid against other racers. You have to really hammer it in and nail them to make an impact. And already reusing music. That didn't take long. At least it's applicable to the theming of each level, so full points for consistency. Sweet consistency. On the topic of consistency, here's Clanker. Ah, look at him with the bloody wound still not healed over. Like a childhood friend with a gaping hole in his chest. Bless him.
You know, Clanker's name rhymes with wank.
Don't. You are better than this.
I'm just saying it rhymes with wank.
No! For God's sake!
His mission in Nuts and Bolts is called You'll Go Blind, You Clanker.
No!
You vulgar boy.
Time for our first unlockable character as we face Humba Wumba. Now Kazooie was fairly easy, so this should be—
Oh god, oh no, what? Oh Jesus Christ, send aid! Jesus fuck.
Bottles, stop staring, you're scaring me. At least you can try again.
No, please God, Kazooie couldn't do this!
That isn't Go Power, that is cheating. It took 3 attempts, but she's down as we celebrate in Grunty Industries. If there ever was a place beaming with joy and success, you'd think shooting her out the sky and sending her to a terminal velocity-laden doom would be enough to unlock her, if she survives. But that's where Cheeto comes in. He acts as the game's shop where you can take pages you earn from racing and buy the characters you've beaten. So I guess you unlock the privilege of buying them? How pampered are these washed up game characters? Although you can buy Globos. Don't know what they do, but I guess we'll find out eventually. Screw it, I'm playing as Mumbo now thanks to his photorealistic face. That's both terrifying and a testament to the GBA's power. Like the power of mouse seduction. I can appreciate that the items are actually items from the Banjo-Kazooie games, unlike things like Sega Racing. I'm only reminded of items because they won't stop. Bottles did say it was harder. I mean, it's as hard as the rest of the game, which isn't. Just very luck-based with items since I still can't react fast enough. At least Mumbo has gone full-blown Donkey Kong with his voice. Freezing Furnace from Grunty's Revenge is next, which I still find cool. Nuts and bolts can unlock this game out of the loop, which wasn't fair. It's still valid, damn it. This cup also includes Mayhem Temple, which, as Mumbo, is very fitting and almost makes me want to have a go, since I think I'm hard enough. At this present moment. Maybe not an hour, but right now I feel it. And also, Steamy Vents. That famous Banjo-Kazooie level. I remember when it first appeared all the way back in Banjo-Pilot. Especially since it's just Hailfire Peaks again, complete with Not Chilly Billy. And I know you, Banjo. You don't have any electric balls, you just have washing machines. Good. Shame the greatest evil of all is depth perception. The electric balls cover the screen, but at least I can see Banjo here. I just can't aim for shit.
Okay, take a block of gold and a feather. Drop them both in a vacuum, they fall at the same speed. Now, despite that similarity, gold is worth more. So on the hierarchy of items, what would you place on top?
Gold, I suppose.
Right, which is why jiggies are made out of gold. So, which cup would you say was last?
I'm still trying to figure out what a vacuum has to do with this.
Nothing, it's the feather!
Yes, the feather is our last cup. Isn't that like making the flower cup last over the star cup in Mario Kart? In Witchy World, we get some new music that actually sounds very Banjo-Kazooie-like. We also get Beach from Grunty's Revenge 2, which is just Treasure Trove Cove. Like, the cove is right there. Are you suggesting that since Grunty's Revenge is set in the past, that Breagle Beach becomes Treasure Trove Cove? Actually, it could be. Maybe the lore's deeper than I thought. Ah yes, Pterodactyl Land. The dark haven of monsters. A war between tribes. Death around every corner. I remember it well. It's just like how I remember it. And last but not least, our final track, Cauldron Keep. A very fitting track to end on, even though I don't recall it being surrounded by ice. Thought it was a bog.
Boogie with me head in the bong.
Now we must face Bottles. Once he stops looking at me with that womble look about him. Well, of course, Banjo uses washing machines, which fits with him, so Bottles must use the power of Thor himself. Makes his death and Tooie hilarious in hindsight, really. And into the lava he plummets. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.
Oh! Sorry, I got that wrong. It was Rayman's Hoodlum's Revenge that was on the shelf.
Still worth watching Pete's video on Rayman 3?
You see, this version of Rayman 3 is the one I grew up with and remember the most, and Hoodlum Havoc, it is not.
That answers that.
That much for free. This version of Rayman
How did he do that?
Oh, what's this now? But the tyrant Bottles is dead. At last, Grunty has her day, as it turns out she has 4 more cups ready. Ah, nothing presses on the nostalgic gland in the brain than Grunty's voice. Bless you, Chris Seaver. Also, this cutscene reminds me of Chilton and the Wheelies. In fact, Grunty is pretty much just vanilla. You know what? Charlton and the Wheelies was very Banjo-Kazooie-like now I think about it.
I'll put it on the list.
So what has Grunty got prepared for us? So many Banjo-Kazooie levels untouched. My personal favorite level was always Rusty Bucket Bay, which would make a great track. Bring it on, Gruntilda! They're all just the same but reversed, aren't they? Grunty, you're a bitch of a witch. Having a glitch. Hey, at least we can see what Globos do. Cheat. They cheat. Straight up cheating. Except that guy who rubber bands so hard even Globo cheating is in vain. It's worth noting that in addition to being reversed, the color palettes have changed too. We're going full Sonic Mania Encore mode, which means we could see variations of well-known places. Maybe they could change Hailfire Peaks to the ice side. Or make it green. I've already had the green rant, thank you. The boss though is Jolly Roger. What a weird pick for a character. He's an NPC in one level best known for his semen surprise. So he gets in, but Tootie doesn't. Then again, she was the Torna of the Banjo-Kazooie universe. When I first played Banjo-Pilot, I actually hadn't played Tooie for some reason, I don't actually know. So I actually had no idea who Jolly Roger or Humberwumber were, nor did I recognize half the levels. Oh, but how could I forget Steamy Vents? What was I thinking? But now though, I can look at this game with fanboyish glee because of how much care went into level design to capture the spirit of each level and the aforementioned cameos. Especially since it's literally just a Donkey Kong game with Banjo slapped on the top. Shame Jolly Roger does himself in with his stupidity. When the game saves, he even pauses on Grunty's face like, I can't believe this shit. Good one, Jolly Roger. I always believed in you. That's why I play as you now. Boy, that noise didn't match the action. Looked more like he was going about as pleasant as the Jinjo's compressed face. As a result of making stupid noises, I was reminded that the voice quality is surprisingly good for the GBA. All the characters sound clear, as does the announcer, harkening back to Diddy Kong Racing. Some characters do sound off, though. You're right, Gingy. Rough night? I can get you a coffee or something if you want.
Well, you, sir, you're a pansy.
Okay, well that was just rude. Grunty is also rude because she claims to be mind-controlling Mumbo. A nice little wink to Mumbo's backstory, which saw him as Grunty's mentor before she went rogue and turned his head into a skull. Might explain why Mumbo uses tornadoes. All the power is disposal and that's what he goes for. You were bested by a one-shot NPC, you cad!
You really need to stop making that a thing.
It just keeps coming back. Hang on. Can I help? Okay.
The penultimate cup sees us fighting Klungo, who proves to be tricky since his attacks are layered. Breaking the beakers reveals flames. Right, just for that, I'm using you, Klungo, to finish off Grunty in the final cup, the Broomstick Cup. I think given the racing nature of this game, it should be Zoomstick. It does lead to the best menu sound effect in any game I have ever played. I could just keep doing that forever. I'm also a big enough loser to pinpoint the exact moment she makes that noise. Wow, I'm glad they put it in reverse so I can't even see the keep itself. I'm also not surprised the difficulty is ramped up for the final cup, but I can't tell if that's just Klungo. I appreciate each character does have unique stats so it's a bit more blatant than something like Mario Kart. And damn it! I came second overall. Guess I've got to do this cup all over again, or I get to do it anyway. Was I trying too hard? I could have just phoned it in this entire time. Well, that's exhausting. You know what else is exhausting? Grunty. Good God, Grunty. Right, so her big gimmick is these giant mines that drop behind her and...
Reused asset.
Reused asset.
And naturally, these bombs are a pain in the ass. They are huge, which means I can barely see Grunty to even get a hit in. At least previous bosses had some room between items, but this is just a screen of charming grins to haunt my nightmares. At least you can't use them when I'm in front. Okay, good. Also good since items change place when I can't see them coming. Come on, Grunty herself is hard enough. This is just mean. It's like you kicked me when I'm down, broke my leg, and then decided to spoil Metal Gear Solid for me. Like, I lived, but why? You didn't have to do that. You just really need patience. hanging in the corner and taking pot shots when you can, nabbing items when you can, and time them right when she's done spewing recycled sprites. I will tell you a story though. I had done several attempts, failing constantly, anger rising. This was the end. I had to do this, but I couldn't. When suddenly, my phone vibrated and I checked the news. Sadly, Luke Perry had just died. Next thing I knew, I did it. I beat Grunty. The spirit of Luke Perry was watching over me, and honestly, that was a weirdly special moment for me. So there you go. I did this for you, Luke. And just like that, into the lava you go! Pure catharsis! Finally, the credits await, which really gives me a Diddy Kong Racing vibe, even down to reusing a random music track instead of making a new one just for the credits. Never change. Oh wait, they did. It's also here that it was nice to see the names of classic Rare employees like Robin Beanland. A Rare game? Not really, it's like £5 on eBay.
You're going on eBay.
I believe that goes there. What do you think, Mewtwo?
No, that's the wrong color. I don't think that fits there.
What are you doing?
Waiting for you to finish. Alright, now try that one there. Flip it around, that's the wrong side.
Ah, yes, indeed.
That's an edge piece that would not go there.
How apropos.
Yep, we're not done yet. We're still missing one more character, which turns out to be Bottles. To get him, you have to complete the Jiggy challenges, which provides good replay value. Essentially, you have to go through each track and collect 6 Jiggies, then beat Bottles to the finish. Kind of like the coin challenge from Diddy Kong Racing. Shame Grunty is slow as hell though. Right, you're done. Back to Banjo we go. Honestly, the mode is fun, but I live by a very simple rule. If the credits roll, I'm done. The journey is the destination. Who needs Bottles anyway, you Sterling Holloway piece of crap?
Well, I'm done for good. How'd you do?
I suppose we can just look at the cover image.
I don't think you guys have quite grasped this.
Did you even need to play a plane-based game?
I mean, we could both fly, but I just wanted to see a car racer. With planes.
How'd that work for you?
It's good.
Right. Okay, well, start it up and let's go somewhere.
One problem.
No petrol?
No petrol.
Well, there's only one option left.
Do we really need a car in the end?
I'm more curious why you get a car with no fuel in it.